Hey, what's up? Welcome back, Lucid Crew. I'm Lucid Rob, and if this is your first time on the channel today, what we're going to do, we're going to watch videos from all over the internet talking about topics that we're not supposed to discuss and try to get to the bottom of things that we're not supposed to know about. So, without further ado, let's get into this.
Anyone else wonder why, if we're on a ball, this has never happened? Does anyone find it quite a bit concerning as to if you're on a ball, why don't you just go from here to here? Why you go up and then down? Flight paths on a flat earth. That makes a lot more sense. Looks like a straight line. You know, if there was a need of an emergency landing from Taiwan to LA, they go up to Alaska. Why? On a ball, Hawaii's just right here. Oh, that makes more sense. Look, Alaska is just in a straight line. Flight from Argentina to India and you're stopping in Amsterdam, way up there. Why don't they just go straight across? Oh wait, they do. Argentina, Amsterdam, India. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Another emergency landing from Dallas to Beijing. On a ball, they go up to Calgary. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Dallas, Calgary, Beijing. That's a straight line. And I'm just going to keep pounding it in because some of these people just don't get it. They got excuses. I can't wait to see the excuses in the comments. Okay, flight from London to Pakistan. And they emergency landings in Moscow. Look at that. Why don't they just go straight across? Oh wait, they do. Look. London, Moscow, Pakistan. And this one literally hurts my head the most. Why do they go on a ball up to Los Angeles, down to Peru from Auckland? I mean, they could go straight across, but they're going up to Los Angeles. Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Lima, Peru, Los Angeles, Auckland. Perfect sense. We could do this all day. Flight paths prove flat earth. Sorry.
Alright, so two things. If there are any air traffic controllers in the comments, could you do me a favor and explain this to me and everybody else watching? Because I don't have the answers to this. I am still a globe defender. I am not in the flat force yet. But one thing that is kind of strange to me, I mean, there's a lot that's strange to me, but one thing specifically about this, there's this app that I used to use called Skip Lag. And I use this app to travel to Africa. The reason I use this app is because it was cheaper. What this app does, and no affiliation, I'm not telling you to use this app, it's just the only one that I know about that does this, and it's kind of strange, so bear with me here. What Skip Lag does is it finds the cheapest flights possible. How it does this is basically it finds the cheapest flight path to a destination from your starting point that has your stop where you want to go along the way. So basically it'll set you up with a connecting flight. For instance, if I want to go from Florida to Chicago, instead of it booking me a flight from Florida to Chicago, it might book me a flight from Florida to Arizona with a connecting flight in Chicago. So essentially I would just like not use my second ticket. I wouldn't use my connecting flight. I would just get off in Chicago and stay in Chicago. And it'd be cheaper that way. But some of the paths, like some of the connecting flights kind of don't make sense, like for it to be cheaper, like internationally. I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but it's not always the most convenient based on the way the map is laid out. So look into that if you're interested. I don't know, I just thought about it right now. And a quick plug, just based off of viewers and the Lucid Crew and people in my Discord and stuff, I actually made some Globe Defender and Flat Force t-shirts and hats and stuff. The link is in the description for the merch. It's pretty funny. I basically like made them like two different teams just because I thought it'd be funny because we're all on the same side, you know, we're all trying to figure this stuff out, but I thought it'd be fun to have like uniforms for the globies and the flatties. Check them out if you're interested. They're pretty fun.
It's like an 8-mile city called Felicity, and it's definitely a cult. Yes, Donna.
And this really rich guy, he's a Rothschild. He bought this town of Felicity and named it after his wife, Felicity.
Wait, is this real?
Who we think we ran into.
Can we make sure that this is real? They offer tours of this place.
Oh, we did a tour. We did a horrifying.
Why?
They tried to get us into this cult. They put us in this pyramid. They tried to get us in the center of the pyramid, in the center of the thing, put our foot in the middle, save this thing, and make a wish and then sign a contract. And I was like, and we were like, I'm not doing that. And she was like, well, it's the only part of the tour you have to do, to do the tour. And that's when we said, we don't want to do the tour anymore. We're going to leave. And she was pissed.
And then they said, she goes, this right here is the center of the world. Once we saw it and we're like, because the staircase, you can see it from so far away, and then you see the pyramid and you're like, something is going on here.
20 cars in the parking lot, no people. There's a cop that lives there who went there to investigate what was going on and then never left.
Wow.
And then he lives there now.
Man, cults interest me so much. I've read a lot of books about, building cults and megachurch organized religion. And it's so crazy, like how a lot of these places, these cults just like prey on people. I mean, they pry as well. They pry by getting information about people so they can prey on those emotions and make the person feel like, everything's going to be better if they stick around. It's like a toxic relationship, really. That's like what all these cults are. It's basically like a toxic relationship that people are stuck in and then get to a point to where they don't know they're being abused until they're out of it. Like a toxic relationship with like your significant other. A lot of people get trapped in these relationships or these cults or these, religion to where they kind of become scared to leave because like they focus on like the 10 or 20% of good things happening and completely just disregard the 80% of the abusive negative shit that's going on. And it gets to the point to where you don't even pay attention to it anymore. It takes getting out of that to really notice how bad it was. But unfortunately, some of these people are so deep into it, like it's all they have and it's all they know. So they never get out of it. So they're never given the opportunity to separate themselves long enough to look back at it from like a more like or a less biased point of view and really see like, wow, yeah, that wasn't good for me.
It's the giant steps in Peru.
You have got to be kidding me. Probably already know that this isn't a giant staircase. There still seems to be some confusion on it, so let me just drive it into the ground one last time. This is Ollanta Tambo. It is an Incan terrace farm. Milo, it looks like stairs. Alright, riddle me this. If this was a staircase built for giants, why is there a human-sized staircase in the middle of it? And another human-sized staircase on the side of it? No, maybe they had human pets, a little pet on a guy on a string. That really looks like a giant could live in it. Oh yeah, and this doorway too. It's like 5.5 feet tall. Let's use some context clues. What's that over there? Is that a terrace farm? Of course that's not a terrace farm. That was a staircase for baby giant. You ready for this? This is my favorite part. There is an entire valley right here. Where were they going? Why would you feel the need to build gigantic steps up this hill and into these tiny ass houses? Look at that. There's no stairs down the other side of the mountain. And this is what your giant stairs are made out of. Can you imagine a giant picking this up? Yes, we're gonna make a staircase so I can get over this hill. Giant conspiracy truly makes me believe that the human race is a lost cause.
This is literally me watching 80% of these videos that I watch on a daily basis.
Conspiracy theories that actually turned out to be true. Part 1. The horror of Project Sunshine. In the wake of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the U.S. government commenced a major study to measure the effects of nuclear fallout on the human body. The conspiracy. The government was stealing dead bodies to do radioactive testing. The truth. The government actually was stealing parts of dead bodies. They needed young tissue, so they recruited a worldwide network of agents to find recently deceased babies and children. They would then take samples and even limbs, each collected without notification or permission of the more than 1,500 grieving families. The world only woke up to the horrific scientific history of Project Sunshine half a century later. But there are still a lot of unexplained mysteries out there. Follow for part 2.
Let me ask you this. Are you an organ donor? I'm an organ donor. I have it marked on my driver's license. But I don't know, the more I watch this stuff, the more I think that it doesn't matter if you are an organ donor or not. People are just going to do whatever the hell they want with your remains anyway after you're gone. So, I don't know. It's pretty wild.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, what's...
Run!
Guys, wait! Oh.
Did we just go to this fucking quantum point and this whole fucking person is Sky? Oh my fucking god. Bitch, I can't. What if the person shows up in my rear view camera? No, bitch, I can't.
really don't think I'm ever gonna be able to escape this shit. Listen to it. Listen to that pounding. Jesus. I mean, this is my whole closet right here. It's my kitchen.
Nope. Fuck that. Nope. Fuck that. I, fortunate enough to be living in America, and I carry whenever I go in the woods. Whenever I go camping or hiking or whatever. I'm always strapped, baby. I will handle it if I see a fucking Wendigo or something coming after me. Just saying. But as far as the knocking on the closet door, man, dude, what do you even do in that situation? Do you just move out? I mean, do you call a priest? What do you do if your house is that haunted? Are you just fucked? You just have to deal with something literally beating the shit out of your closet door at nighttime when you're trying to rest or fucking watch Bob's Burgers or some shit? Like, what do you do? What would you do? Tell me what you would do. Because if I'm ever in that situation, I have no idea. So I need some ideas.
Scientists just got caught hiding a zombie, and you don't know about it. Just a month ago, an explorer found something that will shock you. Daniel Smith was in Ukraine, scouting an old nuclear power plant facility, deep in the woods. The facility was shut down, due to accident in 1986. The area has been supposedly abandoned for multiple decades, but in the entrance, he spotted many surveillance cameras and armed guards. He decided to go through the forest to find a hidden entry area, until he reached the back fence and climb over it. Little did he know the discovery he will make. Daniel walked for minutes, until he reached the entrance of hidden building. As he walked through the door, he noticed many homeless people in a cage. As if they were test subjects, then deep in the building, he heard growling sounds. When he reached in the back of the building, he couldn't believe his eyes. In front of him were zombies. The undead creatures were locked in cage and went crazy when they noticed him. Daniel quickly pulled out his phone to take a photo of these creatures and then fled the compound to not get caught. Just a day ago, Daniel posted photo online, but it was quickly taken down.
I love zombie stories. I think aliens and zombies are my favorite kind of horror movie. And they're also my favorite, like, stories to, like, look into. But I always look at stuff like this with, like, he took a picture and posted online. He took multiple pictures and posted it, but it was taken down and he was captured. Like, I think it's very convenient. It's always convenient that the picture's always taken down. Like, nobody has it. Like, you would think he would send it to friends who posted online. People would save it. It would be circulating. It would be on 4chan, Reddit, all over the place. I don't think it would be taken down immediately before people did that and it made its rounds. Now, obviously, I do think that these, social media companies and tech companies, whatnot, and the CIA, whoever, would probably take those down, probably work very hard to remove those images if they were online. But I don't think that they would just be like a one and done case. I don't know, that's kind of where I'm at with all this stuff. I believe a lot of this stuff and I'd like to believe a lot more of it, but the logical part of my brain makes me think of this stuff. Like, why is there not more evidence circulating? If the story is this widely known to where there's multiple videos about it on TikTok, why is there no evidence that is widely shared? I don't know. I wish there was more though.
Known as the shadowy think tank of America, the RAND Corporation and its many dealings is one of the most talked about conspiracy theories in the world today. First formed in 1946, RAND was started by five-star General Henry Arnold, who thought America needed a team to keep its technology and weapons well ahead of the rest of the world. Standing for research and development, RAND soon attracted the military with its revolutionary proposals. Among their first was the preliminary design of an experimental world-circling spaceship, where essentially they wanted to put a spaceship or satellite into orbit. From there, it could predict the weather, provide long-distance communications, and most of all, intimidate the rest of the world. You might think putting a satellite into orbit is nothing special, but this proposal was released in the 40s, when rocket science was still in its infancy. By the 60s, RAND became a prominent think tank. The company earned various nicknames including the Wizards of Armageddon from its American clients, and the Academy of Science and Death and Destruction by the Soviet Union because of their focus in generating war and weapons. Today the company still exists, and they're partially funded by the government. However, they are still an independent company that caters to various organizations all around the globe. The conspiracy theory behind RAND is that they are more than just a think tank, but actually pulling the strings behind the scenes all around the world. Their goal is to create a new world order that seeks to control society with efficiency, having humans being viewed as nothing more than just machines. Aside from establishing the strategy behind using nuclear weapons, of which they believe that as long as 10 million Americans survived the nuclear war, then it would be a success. They also see the United Nations as a template for an eventual organization that would be built and run by the United States. Eventually, the US would become the de facto world government. From there, they would be able to control anything and everything in the entire world.
Man, think about that. They would be content if only 10 million humans survived globally. I don't know, what is there, like 7 billion now? 8 billion? 9 billion now? I know it's growing a lot. That is so many. And just really puts things in perspective as far as like the depopulation conspiracies and stuff. Project Bluebeam and just all these things, man. If that's true, if that's real, it's pretty terrifying.
The mystery of the bloody children's playhouse is one that will haunt you, especially because it's still unsolved. So January 2012 in Australia, the staff of Riverwood Primary School discover a massive pool of blood inside of a children's playhouse on property. This is the actual playhouse pictured here. The blood puddle was over 30 centimeters wide and contained about 1.5 liters worth of blood. That's a lot of blood. So obviously they called the authorities in to try to see what the hell had happened, how this blood had ended up in a kid's play area, and they did some tests on it and discovered that it belonged to a young male. But they couldn't find any matches, they didn't know who the blood belonged to, and this amount of blood was much more than simply a bloody nose or an injury. Authorities believe this would have had to be a substantial wound that this young boy or man had to have sustained in there. They even said that there's no real way that they should have been able to actually walk out of the clubhouse, and that they would have had to be carried by somebody. But this story gets even stranger. So when the authorities looked into recent missing persons cases, or absent student records from the school, they couldn't find anybody that had gone missing around that time. The police also searched through hospital records for that time period because obviously somebody losing that much blood would have had to go to the hospital, but nobody had checked themselves in around that time with any sort of injury that matched what could have happened inside of that cabin. So the police to this day think that this blood belonged to a young child who was probably murdered. But keep in mind, this is a small cabin built for children to play inside of, so adults can't even stand up straight inside of it. There was also no blood trail leading in or outside of the building. Police have searched the areas around the wetlands and all of the forests and areas in that town. They haven't found any trace of a child, and no children have been reported missing. So to this day, this is a case that haunts me, that really confuses me, and I'd like to think that there might be some sort of closure in the case at some point, but this is a story that I really think will never have an ending. But let me know your theories on what might have happened here below.
That's very, very strange. What if the missing person is under the clubhouse and that blood seeped up through the floorboards, and that's why there was no trails? Maybe that's what happened. I wonder if they looked under it, investigated that, which I'm sure they did. But I don't know. That's my first thought, trying to figure it out based off of this little bit of information. Whatever. I hope he's okay, whoever it was.
Map of our world is about to change. And I'm not talking about China breaching boundaries. I'm talking about the continent of Africa splitting into two.
In the heart of Africa, a dramatic transformation is taking place, altering the face of our planet. Less than 20 years ago, the Earth began to fracture, tearing through territories and even dividing a man's home in two. Africa is slowly tearing apart, hinting at the birth of new lands and seas. But what mysterious forces are causing this massive shift? How will this reshape the future of not just Africa, but the entire world? As all this occurs, can humanity do anything at all? Dive deep with us into this captivating phenomenon, uncovering secrets most remain unaware of. 3 burning questions will be addressed. What's truly driving Africa's split? How will this tectonic dance reshape global geopolitics? And could other continents be next? Let's find out. In 2005, captivating images surfaced, unveiling a breathtaking spectacle in East Africa, a continental rift. Picture this, a massive stretch of land, seemingly unyielding and permanent, slowly tearing apart. But how? And why? Our planet has a secret. It's alive in a way that's both mystifying and majestic. Continents aren't just lifeless, static land masses. They're dynamic and constantly moving. Once upon a time, hundreds of millions of years ago, Earth was a quiet, unified land, a supercontinent called Pangaea. Imagine all the lands we know today were snuggled up together, surrounded by a vast ocean named Panthalassa. But then, something incredible happened. The Earth's crust, affected by the intense heat from below, began to tear apart, rearranging itself into the beautiful patchwork of continents and oceans we recognize today. And this dance isn't over. Our continents, seated on around 15 to 20 massive tectonic plates, are continuously moving. It's a slow, mesmerizing waltz directed by the intense heat of Earth's core. This is called plate motion, or tectonic shift. Today, as we witness the rift in East Africa, we're essentially getting front-row seats to the next chapter of Earth's grand continental performance. According to NASA's Earth Observatory, the Somalian plate in East Africa is slowly drifting away from its big brother, the Nubian plate. Some people like to call them the Somali plate and the African plate, respectively. Intriguingly, both these plates aren't just distancing themselves from each other, but they're also moving away from the Arabian plate up north. Imagine three close friends gradually drifting apart. These friends meet at a place called the Afar region in Ethiopia, where they form a fascinating Y-shaped rift. The Geological Society of London labels this rift between the Somalian and Nubian plates as the East African Rift. Picture this, a stunning stretch of valleys, almost 2,175 miles long, extending from the Red Sea all the way down to Mozambique. The process of Africa splitting into two continents is largely driven by the rifting of the East African Rift System, EARS. This tectonic boundary stretches from the Afar Triple Junction in the northeast down to Mozambique in the south. As tectonic forces pull the African plate apart, magma rises to create a new crust, pushing the continents further apart. With the continuation of this process over millions of years, the split will eventually become significant enough to allow ocean waters to flood in, leading to the formation of a new ocean and splitting the African continent. Potential polar shifts, or geomagnetic reversals, occur when the Earth's magnetic poles switch places. While these events have occurred multiple times in Earth's history, their direct contribution to tectonic processes is not yet clear. However, it's hypothesized that polar shifts could have indirect effects on the planet's lithosphere. As Earth's magnetic field weakens during a polar shift, it could influence mantle convection, possibly affecting tectonic plate movements. If such an event caused an increase in tectonic activity in the EARs, it might accelerate the rifting process. However, more research is needed to understand the relationship between geomagnetic reversals and plate tectonics. Supervolcanoes, on the other hand, can have more direct and observable effects on continental structures. The formation of a supervolcano requires a significant upwelling of magma from the mantle, creating a large magma chamber near the Earth's surface. The immense pressure from this magma can cause the crust to bulge and fracture, potentially influencing nearby tectonic boundaries. If a supervolcano were to form near the East African Rift, the immense volume of magma and subsequent eruption could expedite the rifting process by introducing more molten material and altering regional tectonic stresses. This, in turn, could quicken the separation of the continents.
Oh my God, man. My allergies are destroying my life today, dude. Every time I sneeze, my fucking nose ring. So question, Flat Earth friends, do you guys believe in Pangea? Do you believe at one point it was all one continent that kind of broke apart the same way? Like, I guess my question is, do we believe a lot of the same things? Is the main difference just that the Earth is flat to you and the Earth is a globe to me? Holy shit, dude. My eyes are so bloodshot. I cannot stop sneezing. But yeah, as far as that, just let me know, I guess, what the main differences are between like flat Earth and round Earth. But that's today's video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If it's your first time watching, you made it this far, I appreciate the hell out of you. I really appreciate the support. If you liked what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, sharing the video. If there's something you want to talk about or some videos you want to share with me and you want me to react to in the next video, the link to the Discord is in the description. You can join, hang out with us, send all the videos you want me to watch. I do look through them there, but it is hard to see the recommendations because I have a lot of YouTube comments. So if there's something you want me to see or something you want to talk about, highly suggest joining the Discord. We can hang out in there, and everybody in there is really great. Lucid Crew, all my subscribers, memberships, donators, all you guys buying the merchandise and hanging out in the Discord. My moderators, thank you so much, you guys. Like I said, I say this a lot, and I only say it because I mean it. You guys help me out so much with this channel. You make this more fun, you make it easier, and you make it way more interesting for me. So thank you. I appreciate all of you, and until next time, peace out.